Yeah, Commanders, how you doing tonight? Lewis here with, well, not any replays or anything, but just go for the German tech tree, as I've now got all the, everything from tier 1 to tier 7 on every branch of the German tech tree. So I kind of figured, just go through different screenshots of different ships, and just the tech tree, no premium ships or anything, so you can get an idea of what to expect for, if you've obviously working your from tiers 1 to tier 7 to get to tier 8 in a future update, that type of thing. And so on and so forth. So yeah, start with the destroyers, V25, nothing fancy, has a couple of torpedo launchers and a couple of guns, mainly just to get you started on German destroyers. Nothing fancy, but it does have 4 launching torpedo tubes on either side at the front. Then at tier 3 I have the V170, which has a couple of upgrade slots and can obviously put modules on it. And just like the tier 2 destroyer, the V25, yep, 4 forward-facing torpedo launchers midships either side, and a couple of a few single gun turrets. Well, not even turrets, they're just open deck guns to get you started. Smoke screen, engine boost, that kind of thing. It's all there. At tier 4, you're forward here, you get T22. You don't have 4 torpedo launchers, they're midship mounted, you have to launch them off either side if you want to obviously torp, so it means you have to turn port or starboard, left or right respectively, to get your torpedoes away. But at least you have some main battery turret in, it's an actual more a prop turret up front, and some more turrets in the back, and whatnot. But still guns and turrets, AP and HE, torpedoes, that's it. Then moving on to tier 5, you get the Ernst Garda. When you all says now, when you first get it, you will not have the sonar. When you eventually unlock hull B and install and upgrade it and so on and so forth, that's when you unlock the sonar, which makes it the first tier German Tech 3 destroyer has access to sonar when you put the hull upgrade in. So this is sort of prepares you for having German destroyers with sonar in the tech tree. And up next is Leverett Mars. And little chibi of Master Imagineering. But yeah, just like Garda, sonar, torpedoes, AP, HE, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's it. And engine boost, smoke screen, typical destroyer stuff. Of course, obviously when you eventually get the Master to Elite XP status. I know I've only got 0 Elite XP, but I don't make the rules here. Of course, you move on to the German tier 7 destroyer, Z23. I've got the 150mm guns installed. It already comes with sonar installed, so I haven't got to worry about getting hull upgrade or anything. Everything's already there, ready to go straight off the go. So yeah, that's your German tech tree destroyers in a nutshell. Just a few months or so, we'll go from destroyers to cruisers. So starting all the way down at tier 1 for the German cruiser line. Dresden, nothing fancy, high explosive only, and you don't consume all as a damage control party, but On the plus side, she does have the fastest reload out of all the tier 1 cruisers. So if you want to go down to reload tiers and just go yeeting shells non-stop, then yeah, you can do it at Dresden. And what good stuff. Yeah, so next up's the tier 2 German cruiser, Kohlberg. Just like Dresden, has a really quick reload, but in addition to high explosive, you can also switch to arm piercing shells, so instead of just having high explosive only, you do have the option of arm piercing as well. So yeah, high explosive, arm piercing for ammunition, and of course, damage control party is the only option you've got, and you do have a couple of upgrades for the hull and targeting, and that's it. Yeah, extend your range slightly. So nothing fancy, so move on to Kolzer at tier 3, which is the first German cruiser that has obviously arm piercing, high and high explosives for your main battery shells, but you'll also gain access to torpedoes. Damage control party is still there, but she is also the first German cruiser to have sonar on board in the tech tree, so yeah, Kolzer sort of gets you prepared, ready for the tier 4 cruiser, which we'll go over in a moment. Tier 4 German tech tree cruiser, Königsberg. Arm piercing, high explosive, torpedoes, and sonar. Proper turrets, so the enclosed turrets, encased turrets, what you want to call them. Yep, has a catapult fighter on board as well. So yeah, second tech tree cruiser to have sonar on board. First one to have catapult fighter option, and whatnot. But still, a damage control party for your consumable, and like I said, AP, HE, and torpedoes. Now step up from that, we then switch to Nuremberg, which is a little different to Königsberg. The turrets at the back are centerline mounted, rather than Königsberg being offset to one side or the other. But yeah, Nuremberg has a much faster reload, arm piercing, high explosive shells, torpedoes, damage control party, catapult fighter, and you can change the sonar out for defensive fire anti-aircraft. So the DFA consumable if memory serves off the top of the head. Yeah, so far being on light cruisers, York marks a transition from light cruiser to heavy cruiser, and also has the biggest guns of any regular heavy cruiser in Legends. Has 210mm instead of 203 like most other heavy cruisers do. But nothing too crazy. Arm piercing, high explosive, torpedoes of course, damage control party, catapult fighter. You can choose between sonar and DFA if memory serves. So not exactly the world's best heavy cruiser, but like I said, it's just to get you ready for what comes next at tier 7, which should be the Admiral Hipper, which is essentially a miniature Bismarck class ship. But yep, Hipper you get arm piercing, high explosive shells as standard, torpedoes, damage control party, sonar or DFAA, catapult fighter, and also access to repair party kits, so you can restore your health for a little bit at a time. So yeah, that's just a quick down and dirty for tiers 1 to 7 for the cruisers, for the German side of things. And just a moment, we'll go over battleships. So start at tier 3 for battleships. Start with the Kaiser, which has a janky ass turret set up in the midships area. Oh no, go lie. Yeah, you have one up front and in the middle, and obviously turrets in the back being a middle. But in the midships area, you have one turret mounted to the port side, another mounted to the starboard side. It makes aiming salvos horrible. Thankfully that's fixed when you get to the Koenig at tier 4, because on the Koenig, all of the turrets are centerline mounted rather than being mounted on different sides of the ship or whatever. They're all properly, just centerline mounted, makes things much easier. And we get used to obviously that kind of design. Obviously, all turrets on centerline, then gets you set ready for the tier 5 German battleship. But so far, everything's got obviously arm piercing, high explosive, repair parties, damage control party, and of course secondary battery boosters. So yeah, tier 5 you have the Bayonne, which has slightly bigger guns in comparison to the other two. It has proper turrets of course, and you get you get into more proper battleship designs. You have 2 turrets in front, 2 in back, both in a super firing configuration. But yeah, Bayonne's not too bad for getting you prepared for tier 6. Well, actually, I'll go take that back, because, yeah, the tier 6 good eyes now. Yeah. But on plus side, she does move very quickly for a tech tree battleship. She thinks like one of the fastest, if not the fastest, tech tree battleship at tier 6. Yep, they're torpedoes, arm piercing, high explosive, repair parties, and all good stuff. So more of a get in, strike, and get out of there, because you do not want to try and get into a protracted main battery gunfight with a hand. That's how bad the main guns are. But anyway, and then move on to Bismarck, with obviously the super firing turrets front and rear, 15-inch guns, a pretty good secondary battery. Of course, the only German tech tree ship, tech tree battleship, with access to sonar. Also counts with only arm-piercing high-explosive shells from the main battery, damage control party, damage repair party, a few different consumables like catapult fighter, spotted plane, but I tend to go with secondary battery booster. And yeah, not a bad battleship. Now anyway, at least. Anyway, let's move on to aircraft carriers, shall we? So, down at tier 3, you've got the Rhine. Nothing too crazy, but if I had to say anything about it, it just sort of introduces you to the concept of aircraft carriers on piercing bombs. That's it. So, yeah, on piercing bombs, torpedoes, of course. And it's the only German aircraft carrier which has planes that will pull up and then dive for the arm-piercing bomb strikes. The tiers 5 and 7 don't have, they just go straight down, but we'll go over those in a sec. So at tier 5 you have the Vesa, and unlike the tier 3 carrier, when you do a AP bomb strike, they dive straight down, no delay. And also another fun thing with Vesa is the secondary battery is actually quite a viable build. Personally, I've managed to get a few close quarters medals with the Vesa's secondary battery in the past. And whatnot. So they're pretty strong carriers, especially tier 5 and tier 7, and we'll just go in just a quick moment. So yeah, August von Password tier 7. Yep, arm piercing bombs, torpedoes of course, decent secondary battery, AA battery, that type of thing. And yeah, pretty tanky planes as well, and some of the fastest I believe. And even though she's been nerfed a few times recently, still pretty strong if you give her a chance. And obviously that includes planes as well. Yeah, that's the German tech tree in quick down and dirty nutshell, and I'll catch you next time.